what if? What if everything you were taught about money was wrong? Not slightly wrong, not a little off, but completely, fundamentally, devastatingly wrong. Because here's what they told you, right? Go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, work hard, save a little, retire at 65, and maybe, if you were lucky enough, careful enough, disciplined enough, you'd have just barely enough to survive your final years without being a burden to your family. That is not a life. That is a sentence. And the worst part, the absolute cruelest part of this whole lie, is that while you were following those rules, somebody else, somebody who went to the same school, grew up in the same neighborhood, maybe had less than you, they were playing a completely different game by completely different rules. And they won. And you want to know what their secret was? It's not connections, it's not inheritance, it's not luck. It was 7 steps. 7 steps that I am about to lay out for you right here, right now, in a way that is going to rearrange something in your brain. Something that once it shifts, it never goes back. Ever. So I need you to do something for me. I need you to put the phone down, or hold it tighter. I need you to turn off the noise. I need you to tell whoever's next to you, give me an hour, just 1 hour. Because what you're about to hear could be worth millions to you. Literally, millions. You ready? Let's go. Step 1, track your expenses. Then out, grounding yourself. All right, step 1. And I want you to hear me before I even say it, because people always roll their eyes at step 1. They think, oh, I know this already. They think it's too simple, too basic, beneath them. And that right there, that arrogance, that I already know this attitude, is exactly why they're still broke. Track your expenses. That's step 1. 3 words. Sounds simple? Is not simple. Because tracking your expenses isn't just a math exercise. It is a psychological reckoning. It is the moment you stop lying to yourself about where your money is going. And for most people, that truth hurts. Let me paint you a picture. It's Sunday night. You're sitting at your kitchen table. You've got your bank statement open on your laptop, and you start going through it, line by line, transaction by transaction. Coffee shop, $14. Okay. Lunch delivery, $22. Another coffee, $16. Wait, a subscription you forgot about? $12.99. Another subscription, $9.99. Dinner out, $64. Gas station snacks, $11. Online shopping at 2 a.m. and you barely remember what you even bought, $47. And you're sitting there and you feel something rising in your chest. It's not pride, it's not satisfaction, it's shame and anger. And this horrible realization that month after month after month, you have been hemorrhaging money. Not in one big dramatic way, but in 100 tiny, invisible, painless little cuts. And you didn't even feel it happening. But here is the good news. You feeling that? That sick feeling in your stomach right now? That is not failure. That is awareness. And awareness is where everything begins. Because you cannot fix what you cannot see. You cannot redirect what you don't know is moving. Money is energy, and if you're not directing it consciously, it will find its own way out, and it will not go somewhere good. I remember when I first tracked my expenses, properly, for the first time in my adult life. I was 26 years old. I thought I was doing okay. I had a decent job. I wasn't starving. And I sat down with my bank statement and I found out that I was spending more than I was earning every single month. And I just sat there in the dark in my apartment and I thought, where did it all go? And that moment, that painful, humbling, heartbreaking moment was the moment that changed my life. Because from that night forward, I knew my numbers. I tracked everything, not obsessively, not fearfully, but powerfully, like a CEO running their business. Because guess what? Your life is a business, and you are the CEO. So here is your homework. And yes, I said homework because I am not playing with you right now. This week, not next week, not when things calm down, this week, I want you to pull up every bank statement, every credit card statement, every digital wallet. Go back 30 days. Categorize everything: food, transportation, entertainment, subscriptions, random purchases. And then look at it. Really look at it. Let it upset you. Let it motivate you. Let it light a fire under you. Because the day you truly see your money is the day your money starts to obey you. Step 2. Cut unnecessary expenses. All right, you've tracked it, you've seen the numbers. Good. Now comes the part where I make some of you uncomfortable. Step 2. Cut unnecessary expenses. Now before you panic, before you close this video, before you say, I already live simply, I don't have anything to cut, I want you to stay with me. Because that reaction, that defensive reaction, that is the unnecessary expense talking, protecting itself. Let me ask you something. How many subscriptions are you paying for right now? Like right now, today, how many automatic charges hit your account every month? Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Spotify, Apple Music, some meditation app you downloaded during a stressful week and never opened again, a gym membership you've been meaning to use since January, a meal kit delivery service you paused but never actually canceled. Sound familiar? Because I just described the average American's subscription list. And the average American is paying, ready for this, between $200 and $500 a month on subscriptions alone, many of which they have completely forgotten about. $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. $6,000 that you worked for, that you sweated for, that you traded hours of your life for, and it just disappeared into services you barely use, companies that love the fact that you forgot about them. I want to tell you about a guy. Let's call him Derek. Derek came to me a couple of years ago. He was making $80,000 a year. Good money, great money for a lot of parts of this country. And Derek was broke. Like, I can't make rent this month broke. And he was miserable. He thought he just wasn't earning enough. He thought the solution was more income. But when we sat down and went through his expenses, you want to know what we found? We found $940 a month in expenses he had completely forgotten about or didn't think were a big deal. $940 per month. $11,000 per year. Derek didn't have an income problem. He had a leak problem. His financial boat was full of tiny holes, and he was bailing water with a teaspoon, wondering why he kept sinking. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through your expenses, which you've now tracked from step 1, and I want you to ask yourself 3 questions about every single line item. Number 1, does this bring me genuine joy or help me grow? Number 2, would I consciously choose to buy this again today? Number 3, is this taking me toward my rich life or away from it? If the answer to any of those is no, cut it. Without guilt,
without negotiation, without, "but I might use it someday." Gone. Cutting unnecessary expenses is not punishment. It is not deprivation. It is editing. The best authors in the world will tell you, the real magic isn't in what you add to the page, it's in what you're brave enough to cut. And the same is true for your budget. Cut the noise, keep the music.
Step 3. Educate yourself. Softer, more intimate. Okay, I need you to lean in right now, because this one is personal to me. This step didn't just change my finances, it changed who I am. And I believe, with everything in me, that it will do the same for you. Educate yourself. Now, when I say educate yourself, I am not talking about going back to school. I am not talking about getting another degree that puts you another $50,000 in debt. I am talking about something far more valuable, far more powerful, and far more accessible than any university on earth. I am talking about investing in your mind. Here's a fact that should make your blood boil. In 12 years of school, 12 years, how many classes did you take on how money works? How many lessons on investing, on compound interest, on building wealth, on taxes, assets, liabilities, cash flow? None. You took 0. Most of you, 0. But they taught you the Pythagorean theorem. They taught you the chemical formula for table salt. They taught you how to dissect a frog. And somehow, they just forgot to teach you how not to be broke for the rest of your life. That wasn't an accident. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. You are an adult now. And the most powerful thing about being an adult is that nobody controls your curriculum anymore. You decide what goes into your mind. You decide what knowledge you consume. You decide who teaches you and what you learn. And the library of wealth-building knowledge that exists right now for free or near free is more comprehensive, more powerful, and more actionable than anything that was ever taught in any classroom anywhere on earth. Books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that single book has made more millionaires than most business schools. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, which will completely rewire how you think about financial decisions. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's masterwork. The Millionaire Next Door, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, The Total Money Makeover. These books cost between $10 and $25 each, and they are worth fortunes, literal fortunes. People have read these books and gone from dead broke to multimillionaires, and they're sitting there in bookstores, on Amazon, available for free at your local library, waiting for you. I want to share something with you. When I was 23, I was lost. I had a job I hated. I had debt I couldn't manage. I had a future I was genuinely scared of. And one day, out of desperation more than inspiration, I picked up a book, one book, and something in my brain just clicked. It was like somebody had handed me glasses I didn't know I needed, and suddenly the world looked different. Opportunities I couldn't see before were everywhere. Patterns in how wealth was built and lost were suddenly obvious. And I became absolutely ravenous for more knowledge, more understanding, more tools. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, give yourself 30 minutes of financial education every single day. That's it, 30 minutes. A podcast on your commute, 10 pages of a book before bed, a YouTube video over lunch, a documentary on the weekend. In 30 days, you will know more about building wealth than 90% of the people around you. In 60 days, you'll start seeing the world differently. In 90 days, you will be a different person. Not because the information is magic, but because knowledge creates confidence, and confidence creates action, and action creates results. Feed your mind, protect it, invest in it relentlessly. Because the most valuable real estate on earth isn't in Manhattan or Beverly Hills. It's between your ears. Step 4. Build up income streams. Okay. We are at step 4, and I cannot pretend to be calm about this one. Because this is where the game changes. This is where we stop playing defense and start playing offense. Step 4. Build up your income streams. Let me give you a number, one number, and I want you to carry this number with you for the rest of your life. 7. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income. Not 1, not 2, 7. Different streams, different channels, different rivers, all flowing into the same lake. And while you've been depending on one paycheck, one employer, one salary, one source that can disappear the moment your boss has a bad quarter or the economy sneezes, wealthy people have built a network, a beautiful, resilient, income-generating network. Think about what that means. If one of their streams dries up, say an investment underperforms or a business slows down, they have 6 other streams still flowing. Their life doesn't fall apart, their bills still get paid, their savings still grow, their future stays intact. But when your one stream dries up, when you get laid off, when your hours get cut, when your company downsizes, what happens? Everything stops. Everything. That is why you need multiple income streams. Not because you're greedy, not because you're obsessed with money, but because you want security, real security. Not the fake security of a stable job that can vanish in a Tuesday morning meeting, but the kind of security that comes from knowing, no matter what, money is coming in. Now, I already hear you, but I'm so busy. I work full-time. I don't have time for a side hustle. I don't know what I'd even do. I hear you, and I'm going to push back, not harshly, but firmly, because you deserve the truth more than you deserve comfortable excuses. In the history of civilization, and I mean this with complete sincerity, there has never been a better time to build multiple income streams. The internet didn't just change communication, it democratized wealth creation in a way that would have seemed supernatural to your grandparents. You can freelance your skills online. You can create and sell digital products, ebooks, templates, courses that you make once and sell forever. You can invest in dividend stocks and get paid every quarter just for holding them. You can rent out a spare room or parking space. You can start a YouTube channel or a podcast. You can do consulting in whatever field you work in. You can flip items you find at thrift stores for profit online. You can build an affiliate marketing stream. You can create an Etsy shop. You can drive for rideshare on weekends. The options, the sheer number of options available to an ordinary person today are staggering, genuinely staggering. Now, I'm not saying build 7 streams overnight. That's a recipe for overwhelm and burnout. What I am saying is start with one. Pick the one that aligns with your skills, your interest, your available time, and start it, even if it's small, even if it makes $50 the first month. Because that $50 isn't just $50. That $50 is proof. Proof that you can generate income outside of your 9-to-5. Proof that the market will pay you for something you create or offer. Proof that you are not trapped. And proof is the most motivating force in the universe. 50 becomes 500. 500 becomes 5,000. 5,000 invested and reinvested becomes 50,000. And then freedom. Stop waiting for your employer to give you a raise. Stop depending on one person's decision about your worth. Build your own table, and then sit at the head of it. Step 5. Invest your savings. Step 5. And this is where I need you to shift into a completely different mental gear, because what I'm about to tell you runs opposite to everything most people believe about being financially responsible. Step 5. Invest your savings. Not keep them, not hoard them in a savings account that pays you 0.01% interest while inflation runs at 4, 5, 6% a year. Invest them. Here's a concept that is absolutely crucial, and almost nobody teaches it. A dollar sitting still is a dollar moving backward. Every single year, inflation quietly, invisibly, mercilessly erodes the purchasing power of every dollar you've got parked in a standard savings account. That means your money is actually losing value while you think it's being safe. The bank account that feels secure? It is a slow leak in disguise. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in the history of the human race, called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And he said something that I want tattooed on the inside of every person's eyelids. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. He who understands compound interest, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. If you invest just $300 a month, $300, that's $10 a day. That's probably what some of you spend on lunch, starting at age 25. With an average market return of 10% annually, by the time you're 65 years old, you will have $1,600,000 from $300 a month. That's not magic. That's not luck. That's not a get-rich-quick scheme. That is the most reliable, most tested, most scientifically proven wealth-building mechanism that has ever existed on the face of this earth. And yet, the majority of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, not investments, savings, less than $1,000. That breaks my heart, because it doesn't have to be that way. It was never supposed to be that way. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not telling you specifically what to invest in. Do your research, talk to a professional. Everyone's situation is different. But the principle, the undeniable, non-negotiable principle is this: your money must be working for you, always, constantly, even while you sleep. Index funds, real estate, starting or investing in a business, retirement accounts, dividend stocks, whatever aligns with your situation and your risk tolerance. But something, please, something. Think of every dollar you invest as a tiny employee, a hardworking, never sleeping, never calling in sick employee who goes out into the world and brings back more dollars. And then those dollars become employees too, and their employees become employees. And before long, you have an army. So I ask you, how big is your army right now? If the answer is small, that's okay. Every army started with one soldier. But you've got to start today, not Monday, not January, today. Step 6. Reinvest the profit. Step 6. And this is the step that separates people who build wealth once from people who sustain it and grow it forever. And it is also the step where I have watched with my own eyes more people destroy everything they built than at any other point in this journey. Step 6. Reinvest the profit. Here's what happens, and maybe you've seen this happen to someone you know, or maybe you've felt this happening to yourself. You start making real money, more money than you've ever made before. Your investments are growing, your income streams are flowing, and for the first time in your life, you feel it. That feeling of financial momentum, of things actually working. And then, the temptation hits. The lifestyle inflation. The "I deserve this" mindset. The "I worked so hard, I should enjoy it" logic that sounds so reasonable in the moment. Bigger apartment, nicer car, brand new this time, leased, payments. Designer clothes, first-class upgrades, expensive dinners every week. Luxury vacations posted all over social media to show everyone that you finally made it. And before they even realize what's happened, the momentum is gone. The profits are spent, the investments are stalled, and sometimes they've taken on new debt to fund the lifestyle. And now they're back to square one, or worse than square one. I have seen this happen to people who were so close. People who had done the work, built the foundation, generated real wealth, and then blew it. Not because they were stupid, not because they were bad people, but because nobody ever warned them about this specific trap. So consider this your warning. Warren Buffett, a man worth over $100 billion, still lives in the same house he bought in 1958. He bought it for $31,000. A man with $100 billion. Same house for over 60 years. Why? Is he cheap? Is he suffering? Is he denying himself? No, he understands something that most people never grasp. Every dollar he keeps in the machine, every dollar he reinvests is worth exponentially more than any luxury he could buy with it. He's not denying himself pleasure, he's choosing a different kind of pleasure. The pleasure of watching his empire grow, the pleasure of generational legacy, the pleasure of absolute freedom that only true wealth can provide. Now, and I want to be really clear here, I am not saying never enjoy your money. Enjoying your money is part of the point. It's in the name, rich life. A rich life includes experiences, travel, joy, celebration. But there is a rule that the wealthy understand instinctively, and here it is. Spend from the overflow, never from the principal. Meaning, as your investments generate returns, as your income streams produce profit, take a portion of that overflow, yes. Celebrate, treat yourself, live. But the core, the machine, the principle that generates everything, you protect that, you feed that, you grow that. Plant the seeds, water them, tend to them, and have patience. Because a tree that you plant today, even though it gives no shade right now, will one day give shade to your children, and their children, and their children's children. That is what reinvesting the profit builds. Not just wealth, legacy. Step 7. Live life with passive income. And here we are. The final step, the destination, the reason we tracked every expense and cut the waste and educated our minds and built our streams and invested our money and reinvested our profits. The reason for all of it. Live life with passive income. Let those words just exist in the air. Passive income. 2 words, and yet those 2 words represent everything. They represent freedom from the alarm clock, freedom from the Sunday night dread, freedom from the paycheck-to-paycheck anxiety that robs people of their joy, their health, their presence in their own lives. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Just, if you're not driving, just close them. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. No alarm. Your body just wakes up, naturally, fully rested. You stretch. You can smell coffee. You're in no rush. There is nowhere you have to be at any specific time unless you chose to be there. You reach for your phone, not to check your boss's emails, not to see if your shift schedule changed, not to count down the minutes until you have to leave, but just out of gentle curiosity. You open your investment app, your banking app, your business dashboard. And while you were sleeping, while you were dreaming, your money was working. Your investments generated returns. Your digital products sold. Your rental income came in. Your dividends were deposited. You didn't work for it last night. You didn't trade any hours for it. It just came. Because the systems you built,
The foundation you laid, the seeds you planted, are now bearing fruit. And you just sit there in the morning, quiet, with your coffee, and you feel something that, I promise you, is worth every sacrifice you made to get there, every expense you tracked, every subscription you cut, every book you read, every hour you worked on your side hustle when you were exhausted, every dollar you chose to invest instead of spend. You feel free. Not just financially free, fully free. The freedom to spend Tuesday morning with your kids. The freedom to say yes to the trip without calculating if you can afford it. The freedom to quit the job that's been making you miserable without terror about what comes next. The freedom to give generously to people and causes you love. The freedom to be fully, completely, unapologetically present in your own life. That is the rich life, not the private jet. Though if that's your dream, build until you get there and then fly, baby, fly. Not the luxury car or the designer wardrobe or the massive house, though none of those things are wrong either. The rich life is about options. It's about choice. It's about never having to do something you hate because you have no other option. I need to tell you something, and this comes from a place of genuine care for you. A person I may have never met, whose name I don't know, whose story I haven't heard. But I am speaking to you directly right now. You were not born to be stressed about money forever. You were not put on this planet to spend the best years of your life in a cubicle, counting down the days until Friday. You were not designed to lie awake at night doing mental math about bills. You were built for more. There is something in you, some capacity, some potential, some fire that is so much bigger than the life financial anxiety has boxed you into. And I know that some of you listening to this right now are in a really hard place. Maybe you're deep in debt. Maybe you just lost a job. Maybe you're supporting a family on an income that barely covers the basics. Maybe you've tried things before and they didn't work, and you're starting to think that this kind of life, this free life, is for other people, but not you. I am here, right now, in this moment, to tell you that is a lie. A lie that your circumstances told you. A lie that fear told you. A lie that comparison told you when you looked at someone else's highlight reel and forgot that they have a behind the scenes too.